Hey, V. How was your day today? Hey, Carolyn. I just finished studying for my next exam. Lord help. Ugh, this hair of mine. Child. Whew. So, how was everybody's Tuesday? I came on here earlier and I could tell they was messing with my damn live because it was doing weird stuff while I was on it. And I was like, okay. I said my little bleep before I go to class. I'll just get into it when I get out of school for the day. So that's where your girl is at right now. I was like, let me come on here. Because when I was talking earlier today, I just realized that when I had shared the post about voting and stuff, I forgot that early voting is here in Texas. And I had seen some of the people who had gone to the polls already that they were saying that even though that law it hasn't been signed into effect, that, they trying it. And so I was really glad that I even made the post and bringing awareness to people because usually when you get to vote early, you can go to any polling station. It doesn't necessarily have to be the one that you registered in, but with all of the foolishness that's going on right now, because they scared. Oh, they're very scared that everything is about to be flipped, and rightfully so. You know, it is time for a change, and I don't just mean a change in terms of flipping red to blue or going from Dems to Republicans, Republicans to Democrats. It is just time for a change in period because, hey, Moni, there are a lot of people who are in Congress who are career politicians. They have been there so long that the job they got voted in to go and do, they're no longer doing it. They just doing business as usual. They making deals in between and with the people there, and they're not really representing the constituents. The things that are happening in Washington do not match the needs of the people back home in the respective states that they represent. So it is time for a change. There's 400 and something odd number of seats available to flip either way there. Now, with that being said, we understand what the GOP is after at this point. And I find it ironic. I want y'all to know this. It's 5 people in here right now. If I start talking about some foolishness, it's going to be 100 people in here. It's crazy. Our lives are on the line and nobody want to talk about that. That's insane. But damn it if they won't complain, huh? Damn it if they won't complain about it. But okay, for those of us that are here. So I was like, for sure, when I get on here, definitely revisit the conversation about voting because that's just really important. There's so many things that are on the table for everybody. Hold on, right quick. And here's T. There are so many things that are on the table to be reversed. I'm glitching. Hold on. Is it still glitching now? I swear to God, the reception in this city sucks monkey nuts. Am I still glitching? Okay, good. So what I was saying is there's so many things that are on the table right now. And um there's a lot of stuff that's going on all at the same time. But in the meantime, in between time, we do have to stay focused with what's going on. And For my ladies who are in here, let's be very clear. There are a lot of things that are on the table to be reversed for us. Our financial freedom and independence is on the line. They are wanting to revert things back to the way they were before 1974, which meant you can't get a credit card without a man. You can't have a bank account without a man. You won't be able to own property without a man. See, there was a lot of things that were written into P 2025 that people did not really understand. They were looking at the big things, but that was a 900 and something page dossier about a lot of things. And in this first year, they have already completed getting those things happen. If we do not vote as if our lives depend on it during these midterms, then more of those things are going to come into fruition. And the very things that we like to laugh and joke about, we won't even be able to do that because our basic rights and freedoms will be changed. And that's the truth. I can tell you wholeheartedly, as a full time student, a lot of the things that they said they were going to do in P 2025, they've already done that to the Department of Education. They've gutted a lot of the grants and the educational programs that are supported, especially in demographics and communities that have disparaging inequities. And they have decided that that's reverse discrimination against white people. So they have wiped those out. And that's just at education. They've already reversed Roe v. Wade. We no longer have autonomy of our bodies. It's become extremely hard for women to receive quality health care because of the stipulations and the way that they write these laws. And in this country, everybody gets excited and they go to the polls when it is time to vote for a president. But when it is time to vote for Congress, they don't do it. When it's time for midterms, they don't show out. And the truth of the matter is, the president is the face. Hello, Gwendolyn, is the face of our government. Congress is who holds the purse, and they write the bills that turn into law. There is the House, and then there is the Senate. And those two sides of Congress are the ones who we really need to learn and know and understand from each of the respected states. I can't stress that enough. Now, there are a lot of people who are very ignorant to how civics and government works. And when I say they're ignorant, I'm not kicking their back end. They genuinely do not know or understand how that works. And for a very long time, the powers that be, they were able to do what they do because people just showed up in droves and voted for the president. So they got real smart and was like, okay, we know they're going to show up and vote for the president. Let's pick somebody that we know that they will show up for. They'll take care of that. And then the big parts of our agenda, we'll be able to slip that in and no one will see it coming. And that's how it is gone for a very long time, and how people have been able to remain career politicians. It is time for Chuck Schumer to go. It is time for Nancy Pelosi to go. It is time for Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, and a whole slew of other people. They have timed out. They are not in tune and in touch with the country or the constituents that they serve. Things are very different than they were when they first went into Congress. And like anything else, nothing is constant but change. We live in an existence now where it requires people who have the fortitude and the background to stand up and represent people, not go into backroom boardrooms and make deals and compromise what people say. People voted you into the office, and they voted you in the office because they said, we need A, B, C, D. And then you go and represent, and it's like, well, we gave a little in order to get a little. That's not how that's supposed to work. We didn't send you there to do that. And that's why it is imperative that we vote. So that's my spiel on that. So everyone who is in here, definitely check in your respective state to see when early voting um, The SAVE Act, which is the one where they're saying you have to prove your citizenship before you vote, that has not gone into law, but people were reporting today from early voting that they were already trying to give them a problem. But most of those people showed up with their IDs, their passports, as well as their birth certificates. So, we already know how this is going to go, which is why I say we stay ready to keep from getting ready. So if you are going to vote early, even though it is not a law, you already know the shenanigans that they're going to pull. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. Don't get caught up in what you ain't supposed to do. Do what you need to do to tally your vote and make it count. Not voting is a vote. When we choose not to vote, we are allowing whatever it is we oppose to gain momentum and numbers. Let me repeat that again. If you choose not to vote, that is still a vote. You're allowing the opposition to win. There are a lot of people who are old. And when I say old, I'm talking the boomers. We're talking 70 plus years old. A lot of those people don't have copies of their birth certificates. Some of them don't even have passports, which will make it difficult when they go to vote. So please pay it forward and help someone you know is going to need assistance with voting. I did a post where I walk you through how you can go about doing that so that you are able to obtain your birth certificate. And mind you, those birth certificates have to be certified copies with the state seal on them. That's how they know that they are certified. Now, I know a lot of the states converted to the real ID. That's what the government told us they were going to be able to use. And now they're acting like that's non existent. So, again, stay ready to keep from getting ready. Make sure you have your driver's license or state issued ID. Make sure you got your birth certificate and your passport. Ladies and gentlemen that are married and have taken on your spouse's name, this is very important for you. Your name has to match. So if your married name is on your driver's license and it doesn't match your birth certificate, you will need to have your passport in order to show you are who you are. Again, it hasn't gone into law, but the whole point is that they are going to try to make this as difficult as possible. So people will get frustrated and they will turn away because ultimately they know what is coming. So that's what I'm going to say about that. The video is at the top of my page, right under all of the Internet Family Reunion stuff. It's really quick. You can go in there. The video shows you how to check your voter registration status as well as how to order your birth certificate from the state that you were born in. Yeah. You got to go to the state that you were born in order to obtain it. And you can do it online and they'll mail it out to you. Um, February 17th. I've just been on for a few minutes, boo. February 17th through the 23rd is early voting here in Texas. You can go online and in your respective state to find out when is early voting in your state. I would recommend everybody do early voting. If you're able to do it, do early voting. I don't have class on Thursday, so I'm definitely going on Thursday to take care of it. And I will be going and I will have my passport and my ID with me just in case. It will be no shenanigans. I am going to have my vote count. Hello, Rochelle. So there is that. Some of y'all weren't in the live earlier, but I did not log on yesterday, return any text messages, any of that because I was um I was tired. Not only was I tired, but uh, doing the research on those files, it was a bit much. I can't even lie to y'all. It was a bit much. Hey, Tish. And when I say it was a bit much, I tend to empath emotionally. Uh, Shelby, we need to flip Texas blue. Yep. Everybody that's primary in Texas, we need to flip it blue. It's the only way that it's going to look anything remotely like some grown-ups are back in Washington. Now, I haven't heard. Let me tell you this, all of the propositions that we got here in Texas are derivatives of what's in P 2025. Let that sink in. Yeah. I do know this, Shelby, that when you go to check your voter registration status, you can also look and see who is on the ballot. And from there, you can go and research what they're standing on. And it'll tell, all politicians are going to tell you what they're trying to propose or whatever. That's the best way to do it. If you go to the voter registration site for Texas and check your status, it'll tell you who's on the ballot, and then you can vet and see what they're standing on, or for lack of better words, pretending to stand on. So yeah, y'all definitely keep tapping the screen, and thank you. So I didn't log on yesterday. I didn't answer text messages or emails or DMs. And so I did see the messages that some of you have sent me, and I am responding to them. But yesterday I had to take a mental health day. Um, I only have two gauges. I am either all in or I don't fool with it at all. So I tend to empath with things emotionally. And knowing knowing what I've read and what I've seen in those files, it was a bit much. And I could tell it was beginning to wear on me. So uh I needed to back a little bit. Uh it it's really bothersome when something is happening and you can't directly put your hands on it and fix it, and you know what the outcome is going to be. And when it comes to children, especially, um, the maternal the maternal part of me just kicks into turbo drive. Um, I don't like to see children mistreated or hurt. And some of the things that we have learned, it goes way past the gauge of hurt and mistreated. It's on something else. And those types of things have just they were staying with me, and I didn't like how I was responding. I was beginning to get angry and brittle, um, because I can't readily do anything about it. So it's like, okay, we're gonna need to take a break. We need to back up and breathe a little bit. Um, it is very hard living by faith and trusting that karma and God gonna do what they supposed to do. Because the gangster in me say it's taking too long. I need some retribution right now. Can we put on our Air Maxes and go take care of this? Like, what's up? Who riding? That's the mentality and the mindset that you're in when you see something like this happening. So yesterday, the best thing for me to do is, as soon as I got home, I ate, I cracked open my laptop to make sure I didn't have anything to turn in yesterday. And then I went directly to bed. So I was asleep about 8:15, 8:30, and then didn't get back up again until like 4:15 this morning. So that was that. Now I have not gone back in those files and looked at anything, but I do know that they have launched an investigation on Jeffrey Epstein's ranch in New Mexico. So there's an investigation going on there, and around the world they are arresting and investigating people. Now here's T, and this is what gives me glimmer of hope. The fact that They are giving Andrew Windsor, the Queen of England's son, such a hard time to go, and they are investigating him. I mean, like, they knew what had happened and were aware of it, but now there is a criminal investigation. The fact that a prince, a royal, is being investigated will definitely mean no one is exempt. No one is going to be exempt. And I know a lot of people here in this country are saying, well, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. Let's go back to civics and government 101. Okay. So Congress is made by two houses. There is the House and then there is the Senate. The House is the first step. They vote or ratify things. Then comes depending on what happens, if they vote yes, then it goes over to the Senate. Mhm. Okay. If they vote yes for whatever it is, then it goes to the president and it's signed into law. This is why us voting in midterm and then these primaries is so important. The Republicans control the White House, they control the House, and they control the Senate. And basically, the Department of Justice, the FBI, DHS, the Supreme Court. Are you catching what I'm putting down? As a result of these files, they are ratifying to file articles of impeachment. The only problem with that is it can get passed in the House. It's now got to go to the Senate because the Republicans are the majority party. It might get tanked there. The other thing is that a lot of people do not understand. Hey, Callie, you can impeach. You can impeach, and a person can still keep their position. You have to impeach and then convict. Again, the Republican Party control the House, the Senate, and the White House. So that makes that very difficult. So when people are saying they're not doing anything, they're not doing anything, I can jump up and down all I want to. Case in point, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Senator Massey. It will get killed and file 13 when it goes to the Senate because the majority party is naturally going to side with the administration. So, how do we fix that? The primaries. Remember all of those people who caved and gave in and didn't stand on something for their constituents? This is why the midterms are important. Midterms are really more important than the presidential race, to be very honest with you. The president is the face of the government, the Congress is the purse and the lawmaking body. And not enough of us show up at that time. We'll show up in droves for the president. But when it's time for midterms, we're not present for that. And the things that are really important, case in point, Shelby asked, what are some of the propositions that we're facing? Well, I don't know about any of the propositions that are the ones we want to hear about, but I can tell you about the propositions that we don't want to hear about. Uh, they want to do away with no fault divorce, which means right now, if you're married and you decide that, you know what, I don't want to be married to you anymore, they passed a law that says if a woman doesn't want to be married to you anymore, she doesn't have to be. MP 2025, they're saying we're doing away with that. That is on their agenda to change. For those of you who are members of the LGBTQ plus community, You know that law that gave you the right to love who you want to love and be married to them? Oh, they're talking about that one too. That's on the chopping block as well. They're also talking about removing women's right to vote. You don't need to vote. You are the wife of a husband, and whatever your husband thinks, then you're the wife. You naturally go along with that. The other thing that's on the table is in 1974, they passed a law that said women do not any longer need a husband, a brother, or uncle, or somebody to co sign for them to get a bank loan, for them to own a house, to get a credit card, to own their own bank account. As a wife, you don't need any of that. Your husband will take care of that. And if you're not married, then governing male party in your family will be in charge of those things for you. Oh yeah, that's in P 2025 too. And in 1988, they passed the law that said single women with children would be able to get an apartment or lease a home all by herself. No, 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 no. That is also on the table for them to reverse. And last but not least, your right to vote. That's also on their agenda. So there's a lot of things that are on their agenda we don't want to hear about, that we're not interested in happening, but they're there. And if this governing party is still in charge and trucking right along as they've been trucking right along, then those things will come to pass. So it is imperative that you check your voter registration status, and then you check and see who are the candidates that are on the ballot. You've got to educate and research and vet the people that are going to be representing you. Let's be very clear. Governor Newsom, uh, he didn't go through all of that to flip California all blue just because he was doing tit for tat with the orange toddler and Hot Wheels here in Texas. What is on what is on the agenda and what they are attempting to roll back and then put in place of it in our lifetime, we've never experienced those things. We've read about them in history books. Now, I do remember as a little girl, I used to hear people talk about they needed to go to the bank. And the husband had the bank ledger, the bank book. Mhm. That's wild. A lot of us have never lived in an existence where you had to ask somebody to go get money out of a bank account for you. You probably had somebody Zelle or Cash App you some money, but not because you couldn't do it yourself. Hmm. There are a lot of women who own their own property. They own their own businesses. These people don't like that. How'd you like to wake up one day and somebody bringing you a form telling you this is no longer your property because it is the law? See, when women sided with people, y'all keep tapping the screen so folks can come in here because they definitely need to hear this. When they were so excited about Roe v. Wade and we were ringing the alarms about that, because the point in that was if they roll back Roe v. Wade, what else are they going to roll back? To take autonomy from a woman in terms of how she takes care of her body. Because what they're not explaining to general population, and those of us that work in healthcare can tell you this, the the termination of a pregnancy is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much that goes with that that these people do not know and understand, nor do they care. You show up at the hospital and you're miscarrying. Here in Texas, we can't do anything for you but let you lay there and let your body do what it's doing. Now, when you're miscarrying, That's not the same as being in labor, which these twits don't understand. So while you're laying in the bed hemorrhaging and your insides are rupturing, the doctor can't do anything to stop it because what's necessary at that point to stop it is a DNC, and that's considered an abortion. So there are women here who are literally laying in the bed waiting to die because they're becoming sepsis. They're having strokes. They're dehydrated because the proper medical care is not being given to them because the people who write these laws, they are not healthcare, they are not providers, they are not nurses. They are nationalist Christian zealots who read a scripture in the Bible, did not read the full context, and just ran with it, except for when it is pertaining to their mistresses and the minors that they are playing with illegally. Then, of course, that's a good time to utilize those services. But a woman who is pregnant in her fallopian tubes, or a woman who is miscarrying, she can't, her uterus is not holding the baby, or a woman gets sick and now her pregnancy is not going to term. In any of those instances, she requires medical care. And here in Texas, well, you just have to let your body do what it's doing. Your body will handle that. That's not how that works. I agree with you, Shelby. So those are the things that are on the table. See, when they rolled back Roe v. Wade, there was that. And then the next thing is we have over 450,000 children who are in the foster care system right now, awaiting someone to come and get them. So now you have rolled this back. People who are healthy but have decided, I don't want to do this. And let me tell you something, as a psych nurse, if somebody tells you that they don't want a child, it's too late once somebody gets pregnant to be talking about, well, you should have did this, that, and the other. The fact that they voiced, I don't want this child, that's the end of the conversation, especially if there is time to do something alternative. Because making people have children that do not want to have children, you see the news. Why would you force someone to have a child that's been raped, incestuously molested? Why? That's insane. But those are the things that before Roe v. Wade got overturned, everyone was screaming at the top of their lungs, we need to vote, we need to vote, we need to vote. Everybody showed up to vote for the president. But the people who sign those bills and create those bills, we never show up in droves to vote on them. And that's who really counts. Now, you've had a full year of the winning. And I'm being facetious, of course. Those are just some of the things that are on the table. Talk to some of your college students. I can tell you wholeheartedly, between the orange toddler and Doge and that clown they have that is cosplaying being the Secretary of Education, they have completely gouged the financial aid and student aid department. Grants and funding and programs that were in place, gone. Now they're tampering with how you get and how much student aid you get. And they're also wanting to change it to where regardless if you're in school or not, you got to pay them back. See, right now it's set up that as long as you're in school, you don't start paying on your student loans until you are finished with schooling. That's on their agenda. No, we want the money right now. Well, if you're in school, never mind. Never mind. So, those are just some of the things to think about. And effective last month, there were lots of changes to Medicare and Medicaid that closed programs like Head Start. The next thing that is the next thing that's on the agenda is the pre-K programs. They're already tampering with the Department of Human Services, TANF, and food stamps, and daycare assistance, and housing. There definitely does need to be reform, but these are programs that assist people. And heaven forbid any of us fall from the position that we are in our lives in terms of success and financial prosperity. None of us are above the assistance that is in place. But what happens if you wake up one day and those things are not there? Then you are just a banana peel away from being like those people under the bridge. Yeah, all of those things are on the table with those folks. See, these are the things that they plan on. And then, last but not least, the greatest thing of all that is on the agenda, to make voting national. And what that means is we won't have another election. Let me say that again. If they have their way, we won't ever vote again. Let that sizzle in your spirit. So, yeah, it is that crucial. And like I said before, some of y'all came in here. Usually, it'd be a ton of people in here. You start talking about something with some sense and tangibility, nobody wants to come in here. But I'm telling you, if I start talking about football, Shador, Shiloh, and them, everybody and their mama will be in here. Okay. Don't get it twisted. I love football and all that. I would like to continue enjoying life as we know it. But right here, right now, we've got some stuff that's pretty serious. Average person doesn't even know what their voter registration status is, let alone where you go to even look at that. And with everything that they're trying to push, they're already acting like they've passed that law, and they haven't. But people today were reporting that there were issues at the polls. And luckily, those people that went to vote today, they had everything with them. They had their passport, they had their birth certificate, they had their driver's license. She said, yes, go away. I'm dead to the wood. Baby Mika, let me tell you something. Then people told her she wasn't gonna be able to vote. And see, that's the next thing. A lot of people don't know that it hasn't been signed into law yet. So whatever the people at the polls are telling you, that's what they're going with. It was passed by the House. It has not been passed by the Senate and signed into law, which means the current law for voters is what is the law, which means if you have your voter registration card or you have your state valid issued ID and your voter registration status is active, then you are able to vote. The other thing is when you vote early, you can vote at whatever conveniently located election poll there is. That's the whole benefit of voting early. So that's why the last couple of days I've been telling everybody, handle this like it's already in law so it ain't no foolishness, because they are going to do everything possible to deter and deflect and frustrate people so they'll just give up and leave the polls. And bless the hearts of our elders, because our elders are very good at following instructions and the rules. There's going to be a lot of old people that are going to go to the polls and people going to tell them that they can't vote. And the truth of the matter is, yes, you can, but they don't know any better. Which is why, hey, Emmanuel, which is why I am saying pay it forward. If you know somebody, your grandma, your aunties, you know some folks, you know some elders, make sure that they understand what's going on. A lot of them don't have their birth certificates. We can show them how to order them online. I did a step by step. It's on my page at the top. Just click on that video and it'll walk you through the little websites you got to go to verify. It's on there too. That's how you combat that. That's how we stay ready to keep from getting ready. Because the whole idea is, let's catch them sleeping again. Let's bamboozle people again. Yeah. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I've harped on the voting part enough. Now, let's talk about this NIL and this draft and the free agents and stuff. First of all, these youngsters that are in college with these NIL demands, they've lost their rabbit ass minds. And I meant it just the way I said it. I said that the NFL draft was going to be a lot different this year as a result of what happened to Shador last year. But I was given accountability to the youngsters, understanding that, certain things can happen and that they would be prepared, and that they would be prepared differently this time. I was not hardly talking about some of the demands. These youngsters are making demands like they NFL pros in their second year and pro bowlers and all pros. No, young man. No, young man. Yes, you are a phenomenal football player, but you are straight out of high school into college football player. I do think they should be compensated. I think it should be regulated and there should be some infrastructure put in place, because it is just absolutely out of control. It is absolutely out of control. Um, I would even be down for whatever amount of sign these students to stipends based on the percentage that they get from the schools using their likeness and all of that. Just quoting them a dollar amount that the school has, where they're no longer playing for football now. And it's crazy because, again, what do they have to look for? Yes, that too, V. Once upon a time, they used to get like a stipend, like work study. So if you go to a university that's carrying your jersey, that's using you on the billboards to sell tickets, and it is a profit, I do think the students should get that, but I think it should be set in brackets of percentile, and it should be handed out as in terms of a stipend. Now, it is paid to them on a monthly basis, but the amounts are ridiculous. The amounts are ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Fallout Media today was talking about a young man, and he was like, I hope that this is not true. But he was asking for a ridiculous lump sum of money, and then he wanted another set of money every quarter. He wanted to be able to dictate how long he got to stay out on the field and play. Sir, you are in college, you are not in the pros. Because if you're doing all of that right now, when you get to the pros, then what? What about your academics? And then what happens when you get injured? See, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. When these guys used to play for the actual game, then they were focused on staying healthy. They were focused at being at the top of their game. Now they are focused on who's going to sign them and how much money is the school offering. And people clown Coach Prime because he's like, I'm not paying you to come here. I do think you should get NIL, but I'm not paying you to come here. If you want to come here, then come. You play through college to sharpen your craft. And if you are in that select few that make it to the draft or get invited to the combine, then that's when your true reward comes. Because different things come at different stages and different levels of maturation. They got their hands full with that. They got their hands full with that. It's insane, and it's changing the dynamic of recruiting. It is also changing what it looks like once they get to the pros. Because if you give in to a youngster fresh out of high school coming into college to those demands, they're not going to be coachable, and clearly they clearly are not going to be coachable when they become professional football players, because in their brains, I got all this money. I don't need you to tell me you need me. I need you. That's the mentality that sets in. There's a lot of young men that are jumping in and out of the portal because of the money. None of them, I have not heard of one of them say that they are going to another school because they have a awesome microbiology program. Oh, I'm going to be able to get an awesome admission into the engineering program at that school. You don't hear none of them talking like that. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of these schools they go to bowl games and are nationals, they academics suck. So there is that. Now here's T. What happens when you what happens when you put all of your money into going to the pros and then you get hurt? What happens? I'm just curious. What happens? Hey, Flashpoint. Because if you get injured in college, you're not at 100% anymore. And whatever your injury was, now that recovery is considered a percentage of liability, depending on your position and exactly how you got hurt. So that's just something to think about. That's just something to think about. Now, as far as since Mr. and Mrs. Amen kept asking about what do I think about Tyreek Hill? That part right there, Mika. What do I think about Tyreek Hill and the Browns? Before the season ended, I said that Andrew Berry is going to rebuild this team and he's going to do it in three different phases. I said the very first phase is he is going to scout through everybody who is free agent or is undrafted free agent, and he's going to find the most qualified and talented in that group first. Then he's going to sit down at the table and look at where his position is in terms of draft picks and where that fits in. What spots does he still need to fill, and use those for certain. If I were a gambling woman, I would say use your draft picks for your O line. Your defense is solid. You have a defensive coordinator. You've got a strong defensive captain in Myles Garrett. He will be able to fill in the new coach and bring them up to speed as far as how the defense has been running, how they have been utilizing the talent that they already have established and is moving like a well oiled engine. So defense, we're not really worried about them. We can stand to get a few more defensive linemen just to have people in reserve that are strong and able to adjust and align and come in when they called upon. But we've got a strong set defense. What we really need is we need an offensive line. We need a pocket wall that is tall, it is brawn, it is big, it is strong, and they don't let anything penetrate and touch Shador. That's what we need. Could we use some more wide receivers and running backs? Why, certainly you can. People get twisted up and hurt, tired, and all that other things. There's no such thing as too many running backs and too many wide receivers. Now, I do not think that everybody should be putting all their money into the concept of, well, Tyreek Hill, he's available. Andrew Berry ought to go scoop him up. Andrew Berry has a arsenal in development. The rookies that he has in his running back and wide receiver core, he's got a good combination. He's got a good combination. I do not think you have to go and get another named player from another team and try to turn that into the Batman and Robin duo. The Browns already have that. Shador already has an amazing chemistry with Rocket Sanders, with Dylan Sampson, with Isaiah Bond, Quinshawn Judkins. And these players already support and want to play with and for the quarterback you have in place. See, that's something that a lot of people miss. They get so caught up in stats. You can have 11 players that have the best stats. If the chemistry and the synchronicity is not there, they will not play well together and it will tank. But I am certain that Andrew Berry and Coach Todd, can see that the chemistry that has developed. The lady asked Shador, who is his best friends in football? You know who he said? The Browns rookie class. You know what that told me? He trusts them. He knows them. Mhm. They just need an opportunity to fine tune and polish the areas. Those wide receivers and the running backs need to learn Shador's language, and he needs to learn how they move. And once that element is put in place, mm, it ain't a question of if, it's now when. And when as in WIN, not WHEN. Oh, hey, all 31 of y'all. It was just like 3 of y'all in here a minute ago. That's crazy. I digress. Shut up, Shelby. Now, um, I don't think Baltimore will let go of Jonte. LeJohntay. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I knew they weren't gonna let go of LeJohntay in Baltimore because of the reception they gave him when he came on the team. Out of everybody in the Colorado boys who transitioned from college to the pros, LeJohntay and Travis had the most welcoming transition. Those two teams were excited about their players. Hey, Dee Dee. Hey, Abe. So in that transition, it let us know that this was a team that wanted them to be there and they're willing to invest in them becoming better players. They're not getting ready to do a switcheroo on them just because it's rookie season and there's a possibility of someone coming out. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, LeJohntay Wester and Travis Hunter, consistency is their middle name. Their work ethic is unquestionable. They are coachable. They are good teammates. They hold all of the attributes that a coach wants in a player. And they're not screaming at the top of their lungs about some money. They understand very clearly what Coach Prime has taught them. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. So they're not concerned with making those demands. They know exactly, Abe. They know I'll be all right. My gift is going to take care of me. So those Jacksonville and Baltimore, that's going to cost Andrew Berry a pretty penny and 400 picks if he tries to go and get Travis and LeJohntay. The only thing that I could ever see pulling them two from their team, Shador would have to ask them. That part right there, Mika. But the Browns, they have a bag of diamonds in the rough. They just need a little bit of time together. They just need to practice and get a feel for each other. They're going to be just fine. Give Shador an O line to give him time in that pocket. Now, here's the other thing, because Miles Garrett beat that record, that brings the value of the team up. Because now everyone is swirling, wanting to see what is going to be the effect of Shador starting. Oh, that further brings it up. I mean, he's already, I promise you, when they announced that schedule for the Cleveland Browns, I can't talk about everybody else's team and they tickets, but any Cleveland Brown ticket, if you don't get it on the day they announce it, you're going to be buying it from SeatGeek and StubHub and everywhere else at a higher price because those tickets are going to sell out. They're going to sell out. Even that expensive trip to Paris, folks are going to get on planes, trains, and automobiles and hike over there to Paris, France to watch Shador and the Cleveland Browns. It's going to happen. So there is that. The other thing is, this season, We will be entertained by the competitors. Hmm. We will be entertained by the competitors. Mark my words. You're going to see some razzle dazzle. You're going to see those missiles flying between defensive players. You're going to see people jumping out the sky. You're going to see them zip cut routes. You're going to see all of that. Hmm. We getting ready to see some good football. That's what we get ready to see. You getting ready to see some hungry, sweaty, rough, line up on the line, talk shit to you when the ref blow the whistle football. That's what you get ready to see. And let us be clear. When Shador Sanders eats, everybody eats. Oh, baby, Star Child, the Wi-Fi been activated since they walked off that field on that last game. You heard what Shador said. Now we not gonna be bad like this ever again. He's just like his daddy. He can't stand to lose. And he gonna do what he need to do. So that's what he did. He left and he went and got recharged. He went and spent some time with his brothers. He got to see his sisters. He got to hang out with his nephew. He got to eat good. He got to sleep in. Had a fabulous birthday. Then he went silent again. And he already told you he liked to talk. So if Shador is silent, that means he's busy. He's busy. Knowing him, when he went home for his birthday, he probably took a layout of the land. Hmm. Took a layout of the land and did a took a layout of the land because Coach Prime built that practice field for him and his brother to come home and work out. Because Coach Prime is dead ass when it comes to you don't need to go nowhere. Everything you need, they got a gas station at their house. You know, you know how many mornings I had to get up early because I'm trifling and on my way home from work, I don't want to stop and get gas because traffic is bad. Can you imagine after you take a shower and you go get in your car, you drive out the driveway and you drive down the hill at your house and you pull in to the gas pump at your house? At your house. You have a housekeeper and a chef in there who knows your dietary menus. Your play cousin is your trainer. Both of your brothers do all of your vlogging and receipt keeping. I want to move to Canton. I won't take up a lot of space. I'm telling you. Hey, Bev. So I'm certain while he was there, he was working it out. Because on top of the fact that in the main house, where they used to live, Shiloh and Shador have rooms in that house. But Coach Prime built them apartments. Bucky got the red house. You ever heard Bucky talk about his little brothers? They stay in the suburbs. That's what he called it because they apartments is right there by the house. So he got space. Now, last summer, Gage Lavardian went back to Canton with him. Are you talking about the designer Amiri? Mm-hmm. Except it's more than that. It's more than that. That's just what they guesstimating. Just you wait. The best is still yet to come. So yeah, uh, I think the Browns are gonna be fine. Yeah, Star Child, it's estimated. Um, no disrespect to Tyreek, but for me, it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let Shador and that rookie squad make magic. Tyreek has been in the league. Tyreek comes with some off the field baggage. These young men who are in Cleveland, with the exception of a few of them, all of them, most of them were on the practice squad and they had to get it out the mud to get in the positions that they're in. One, that speaks to their work ethic and their um their desire to work towards something. So there's that. The next thing is everybody who has met Shador and knows Shador, they know what type of time he is on. And we got to see in real time how the rookies, when they all got together, they were a group of individuals and you could tell different personalities from where people were. And uh the more that Shador began to get to know them and they were doing little activities to get to know each other, um, there is a mutual respect and compromise socially with them that has taken place. From the time that, Shador is on his stream and they laughing and talking loud and cussing, and Shador is like, hey, you can't do that because of the kids. And they were like, my bad. And then you noticed after a while, the way that they talked around each other publicly, even that changed. And not changed because necessarily, oh, we can't talk like that because that's Shador. Um, they could respect what he was saying and they understood that it's pretty cool how he moves. So if he's moving like that, then I know that's going to be a good look for me. The other thing is everybody that he worked with on the practice squad that got moved up, they did really well. Malachi Corley, Gage Lavardian had, his moments when things didn't necessarily balance out, but the fact is he got moved up from the practice squad, and the quarterback that was working with him was Shador. um, an ideal situation and what's traditionally happened is that there's usually a vet on the team that is there to guide. Um, I'm about to say something that's real unpopular, and I'm not saying this just because I'm an internet auntie that loves and supports Shador, but the journey in which Shador took from the draft until the end of this very first season, his rookie season, if they don't get a veteran to come on board and be there, they will be just fine because Shador went from the top of Mount Olympia to the depths of hell. I mean, he literally was being treated and sat down damn near next to the lava that's coming up out the volcano. That's where they were trying to put him. and he carried it like he was still starting. So he has already demonstrated the ability to be a leader. He has already demonstrated the capacity to adjust. He has learned what it is to be a starter and not a starter. So handling the responsibility, he'll be okay. Um so far from what we see, the time he's been spending with that he's been spending with Deshaun has proven to be positive. And I like it for both him and Deshaun because Deshaun is now still in the capacity as a leader on the team. It may not necessarily be out on the field, but his contributions in helping to develop and mentor Shadur is invaluable. And as far as what he was talking about, him being broke, he's talking about the streaming money that they had when they were playing against each other. He wasn't talking about Shador's money. He was talking about the money it took for decor and all that stuff that they were using at the Streamer Bowl. So yeah, um, AB don't need to go and get no more high name problems. Deshaun has enough stain on his name to cover everybody on the team. Yeah, we don't need the divorce and the multiple children's mothers and mm-mm. We're building we're rebuilding from a place of life and growth and progress. No disrespect to those women and Tyreek Hill, but y'all got your own stuff to handle. Cleveland come with its own junk. We don't need to volunteer for none. We still trying to get rid of Tony Grossi, Mary Kay Cabot, and the Ultimate Cleveland Clown Show. So there's that. The last thing in the world is we need to bring another black man to Cleveland for them to have something to say about. So there's that. They're trash. Yeah, they're trash. So, lastly, we are 2 weeks from February 28th. To those of you that have paid your deposits, I am so excited and I'm looking forward to seeing you. To the rest of the internet family, those of you who have dropped the line and it's like, Diva, I'm coming, I'm coming. Okay, December 28th, listen at me. February 28th is the deadline for your deposit. Now, for those of you, let me reiterate this again. By paying your deposit, that guarantees your ticket. Yeah, those tickets that's going to sell out, our tickets are guaranteed with our deposit. So there's that. The schedule for the games will be announced following the NFL draft. I don't know if they're going to do it that same weekend or if it's going to be the first or second week of May, but that's when those dates are going to be handled. So let me share with you what that means because a lot of people keep asking this question. Well, if they haven't announced the dates, then how do you know what game it's going to be? Hmm. Thank you, Star Child. That's the privilege in having relationships with people in the Cleveland sales office. Because how that works is, Manera, if you give us a deposit, then when they announce the schedule, you can pick the game that you want. Your seats will be covered. That's how that works. Now, I do know that the NFL season for 2026, it opens September 10th. That's a Thursday night. The other thing that I want everybody to know is The Cleveland Browns will no longer be stuck in 12 o'clock on Sunday non-viewership games anymore. I hope everyone knows that. They're probably going to be on some Thursday night and Monday night games. So depending on which game it is, the internet family reunion might be a Thursday through Sunday, or it might be a Friday to Monday, or Saturday to Monday. You understand what I'm saying? Those of you that are asking me about hotels, I can't do a hotel block until we have a date. So just know this, we know that Labor Day weekend is out of here. Since the season doesn't start until September 10th. So that means September 10th all the way through the end of the year is going to be the football season. Now, me personally, I would like the Internet Family Reunion game to be the Atlanta Falcon game. And let me tell you why I would like it to be the Atlanta Falcon game. Because Kevin Girl got to come back to Cleveland. And he has to come back to Cleveland as the coach of the team in the house that Prime built, playing against the very quarterback you tried to bench. That game is going to be lit. Everybody in Atlanta is going to come to Cleveland. That sideline is going to look like the who's who in Bankhead. Remember what it was looking like in Boulder when Shadua first got there? Okay. Okay. Hmm. So I really would like that game to be the game. Um, I'm hoping that that game will be at the beginning of the season, but there's a possibility that it may not. And it may be in the latter part of the season. I've talked to the committee and I've said this. I personally am not real fond of the cold. But if the majority of the people who are participating in the Internet Family Reunion say, no, if he playing Atlanta and that game is going to be this part, we want to go to that game. Okay, not a problem for me. I'm good with it. But just know that that is one of the home games that's going to be a big ticket. Atlanta versus the Cleveland Browns. Everybody in Atlanta is going to pile into that stadium to see Kevin Stefanski get the brakes beat off of him. So there's that. If you buy your ticket and for whatever reason you can't go, you can resell your ticket because it will be coming from the Cleveland Browns website. And then you can just go right back on the website and put your ticket and resell your ticket and get your money back for it. The deposits are non-refundable because in having first dibs at those tickets, those seats are pulled out of inventory. We can't pull it out of inventory without giving a guarantee. So that's why that's like that. But there's a meet and greet. At the meet and greet, you get to meet all of the internet aunties, uncles, and cousins, as well as pick up your swag bag. The second night is the actual reunion. There will be food, there will be dominoes, there'll be spades, there will be dancing, there will be prizes, a DJ. It's going to be an actual reunion. And then either Thursday, Monday, or Sunday is the game. Now, the game, those tickets are club access. Club access means your beer, your wine, your food is included. You want to do some Henny or some Douce or something else, you got to pay for that. All you purple bag lovers, you got to pay for that. But your beer and your wine and your food, and we're not talking about like just some hot dogs and some nachos. No, there's a dessert station, there's a brunch station, There's a carving station, and then there's your traditional football concession stand food. You get access to go in and out of the club. If you want to stay inside and watch on the monitors, you can do that, or you can go out to your seat. You can eat inside the club, or you can take your food outside the club and go outside. If you want to come back inside and get some more and then go back to your seat, you are able to do that as well. It is all you can eat and it is included in your ticket. So that's the gist of Internet Family Reunion. And yeah, your $200 deposit holds your spot for all of that. If you're not going to, um, if you're not going to make it to the Internet Family Reunion, but you still want to be a part of the cause, there's still things left in the cart of the for the kids at Paul L. Dunbar Arts Enrichment Academy. The last time I checked, we were almost under 10,000 left. I need to check it again to see where we are now. We started at 14.7K in items in the cart. And then the last time I did the report, it was a couple of days ago, it was at 10.1K that's remaining. So that's almost 4 grand in a month because we started it in January 7th or January 9th to be exact. So in under right at a little bit over a month, over $4,000 worth of school supplies, hygiene products, and food and drinks have been shipped to the kids at Paul Dunbar. So to everyone who is given, thank you very much. And hey, if you don't have it to give, if you will be a sport and just share the link with other people, that's giving too. Yes, I can, sweetheart. Hold on a sec. This is not going to be it because it cuts off some of it. So this is not the whole one. If you DM me, I will give you the link and then you can share it. Because it cuts it off because it's too many characters. So that's not the whole link. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of everything and where we are now. I'm very excited. Very, very, very excited. Ugh. Now, on a personal note, I have got to get get. Oh, that's the okay. I'm tripping. I gotta get me some new glasses. These are my Shelby. Really, y'all crazy. I gotta get me some new glasses. These are my emergency ones. Girl, bye. Okay, so you know what? It's 10:07. I can talk after dark. Now let me tell you something about some booty call. Okay. Do you see what I look like right now? Do I look like I'm ready for a booty call? I do everything pretty. You see the surroundings I'm in. I don't do booty in these type of surroundings. I do everything pretty. Even shaboing boing. So, Cat Daddy, we're gonna need to go to the Westin. We're gonna need to go to the Marriott Marquis or something. I need to feel fabulous in order for you to feel fabulous. Are you getting what I'm putting down? I'm not showing up in no bonnets and no throwed off old worn sundress. Baby, let me tell you something. Even in the moo it's shaking and baking. I'm smelling like $1,000,000. She shellacked down, shiny, moist, dew looking hair is popping. What? No, you'll know when it's a booty call. Cause what I could tell you is I ain't gonna be on here. Now Diva do everything pretty. Everything pretty. I'm not, When once you get to a certain age, you have earned certain privileges, and my privilege is I need to I need you want to feel good? I need my surroundings to make me feel good. A booty call. No, because see, another thing with me is it ain't no booty call. Because if I give you some, we go together. You didn't know? Oh yeah. We go together. Mhm. See, I know these little young girls, they be like, I don't care about that. We just cut. We first of all, I don't cut. I'm too grown for that. I don't cut. So there's that. The next thing is um call me Motown. I'm not a one-hit wonder. You know. Baby, this is a Billboard chart, okay? And I stay at number one for a while. I'm the feature presentation, not to be confused with the preview trailer. So if you and I tell anybody in a minute, don't come over here playing with me. Mm-mm. You need to go over there with them kids that like Reeboks and going to Red Lobster. That's the group you need to go play with. I'm not that girl. We go together. We're now a corporation. We are a conglomeracy together. We're building life dreams over here. See, if you come over here trying to tap dance on my womb, then you real special. Hmm. Yeah. We sitting at the boardroom table together. That's the type of time I'm on. So yeah, about that. That might be y'all why I'm still single, because that clause right there might be a bit much for some folks. But you ain't gonna be hopping up and down inside of me on 50 pumps, getting me all hot, sloppy, and wet for a good time. Boy, bye. You better go play with a PlayStation and play with your mama. Don't come over here playing with me. I'll keep you up way past your bedtime. You gotta take B12 and eat Wheaties playing with me. I'm 5'11" and thicker than Southern cornbread. The next time you bored, count. Baby, that is a benefit in having a nurse as your woman. I'm cute enough to stop your heart and skilled enough to get it going again. Hmm. So there's that. You know what? Now that I think about it, Even girl, she said a timer. I'm dead. Even when, my ex and I were together and lived together, I never walked around in no bonnets and no mm-mm. And not because, I was trying to impress him. It's just when you when your man or your woman makes you feel a certain way, it makes you feel a certain way. I enjoy being a woman and I wanted to be a woman around him. Okay, Flashpoint. Well, go ahead and cut your grass. That's at 10:14 at night, that's a hell of a lawn, but okay. Go get him, Tiger. But yeah, I don't remember walking around in no bonnet or mm-mm. I even had cute house clothes, you know? Cute little short sets or yoga pants sets, stuff like that, whatever. House perfume and body spray. 'Cause you don't know. It might get set off. You gotta stay ready to keep from getting ready. And I am a firm believer that however you met someone or you got with them, it doesn't stop because now you're together. I think once you're together, it's even more fun in continuing the process of improving who you are to be a better version of yourself, not for them, but for yourself. People that get together and then now they walking around the house and just looking a hot, furry mess. It's like, you like looking like that for you? Okay, I guess. I like being a woman. I like smelling pretty. I like feeling soft. I like getting cute. I enjoy being a woman. So there's that. I'm gonna spank you when I see you, Shelby. You said a booty call. My God, today. Child, you'll know when I had a booty call. You know that glow, that smile that you can't chisel off somebody's face when you start talking about my man, my man, my man. And here's the next thing. Don't get mad talking about Diva, you don't come on live no more. We don't hear, see, hi to you. My man, my man, my man. You'll know. You know how people say, when I win a lottery, I ain't gonna tell nobody, but there'll be signs. There'll be signs. Mhm. Exactly. Netta, it's nothing wrong with your notifications, honey. They messy. You better know it, V. You better know it. Up at 5 something in the morning preparing lunches and breakfast. Yes, ma'am. I'm that girl. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Now they're not messing with your notifications. Netta, there's nothing wrong with your notifications. They messing with my account. Oh yeah, definitely humming. Oh, for sure. Hmm. Once I graduate, I'm looking forward to it. Cause right now I don't want to have to pluck nobody's son because he and his feelings talking about all you do is talk about school and football and do and do. So I'm not even gonna do that to nobody. I'm gonna wait till after I graduate in April, and then As the old people say, I'll be ready to court again. I'm so nostalgic, I swear. Okay. Child, I haven't ordered anything new from Adore Me in over a year. Let me tell you, I've been on Adore Me window shopping. I went on Chat GPT and created my walk and my workout regimen. I got a drawer full of two-piece bathing suits that cuz I don't wear one-piece bathing suits. No, I mean if that's what everybody else does, that's fine, but I just no, I don't. But I think there's a certain decorum if you're gonna put one on. And right now, I'm not in that decorum. So I had to go to Chat GPT to figure it out. So it's like, all right. So after we graduate, it's gonna be time to lock in. Your girl is gonna be mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. I'm gonna be 55 in July and I don't look a day older than 40, 41, if that. I need I need neck down to match. Yeah. So there's that. I was passing by a senior living complex. They said 55 and up luxury apartments and I was like, "Well, I'll be damned." I ain't moving in there cuz I'm part of that frisky 55. I'm I'm still doing things like a decade or 2 decades ago. So, yeah, I don't I was telling my best friend that. She was like, "Yeah, but they nice. You should do it." And I was like, "No, I don't like the energy that's in there." Mm-mm. Mm-mm. They talking about Bengay, and I'm talking about waxing the love flower in the garden of happy. We are not the same. We are not the same. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. They want to go to the activity room and I'm trying to be the activity. We are not the same. We are not the same. Mm-mm. 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 I need to be around people that's my kind of energy that still got some fire in the tank. Not fire, fire in the tank. I cracks me up. I really do. I just open mouth, boots fall out. There you go. So, anti-who love bugs. Before I get off of here, if you haven't done so already, you can go to Well Off Forever. That's Bucky's website. He carries the 144, the rejected will be respected merchandise. Shador's website is twolegendarystore.com, where you can cop his merchandise. You can go to Fanatics, or you can go to NFL Pro, or you can even go to the Cleveland Browns website to get Shador's jersey. Excuse me. Um, Before anybody, I'm certain everybody has heard or they understand and know that Shador does get a commission of his jerseys. Yes, V, thank you very much. Let us remember to vote. If you are in a state that does early voting, go to your voting site for your state and verify when is early voting. If you do not have a copy of it, I strongly suggest that you go online and order your certified copy of your birth certificate. Those of you that are married, both men and women, because if you're same sex married and you took your spouse's name, you will need your passport, your birth certificate, and your driver's license in order. No, the Texans are playing in Cleveland because they played here in, wait, are the Texans going there or am I thinking U of H? I'm tripping. You probably are right, Shelby. They are playing the Texans, but I don't know if it's, I think the Texans is away. Yeah. Well, I had told you I'm going to those games. Child, I'm probably going to be high school fine anyway because I'm going back on a Raisin Bran popcorn diet because all the money I got is going to football games. And then I'm gonna be hopping on planes again because it's been a while and I gotta get away. Okay. Okay. So back to what I was saying. Check in your respective state when early voting is, even though with early voting, you should be able to just go with your driver's license or your state issue ID. People have been reporting that there is a problem. If you have a certified copy of your birth certificate or you have a active valid passport, take those with you to take care of your voting. Please do not be discouraged and turned away and get caught up in these people. It is designed to create a problem so you don't vote. So there's that. If you're uncertain how to do it, at the top of my page, underneath those three pinned posts, I did a post this morning showing you the two websites that you go to. One, to confirm your voter registration status. And once you confirm your voter registration status, it will also let you see who are the candidates in your specific area. So there's that. I also, in that same post, show you how you can go online to get your certified, seal stamped copy of your birth certificate. But you have to go to the website of your respective state. So check that out. The next thing is if if you are going to the internet family reunion, your deposit, those are due by 2/28. If you don't have the link and you want the information, simply DM me. I will get that to you. Um, what was the next thing? Oh, if you would like to assist in helping us clear out that cart for the students at Paul L. Dunbar Arts Enrichment Academy in Cleveland, again, DM me. I'll give you the link. Definitely, if you're not going to purchase anything, just pass it on to other people, please and thank you. So there's that. I gave you merch. Oh, lastly, I got Kevin Girl merch. I got it in Atlanta black, Atlanta red, Cleveland brown, and Cleveland orange. You know the routine. DM me. I'll send you the links to everything you need to know. So that is that, my love bugs. I'm going to take a shower because I got class tomorrow, but I do need to get up and drive a little bit before I go to work. I mean, before I go to school. So everybody sleep well tonight. It's been a very productive day. We got a lot covered. Give yourself grace. Go do great things tomorrow. And as always, protect your peace and your mental health.